Yeah. We'll edit that out, man. You know, they ain't gonna see that part. But nevertheless, we back in. We back in episode 3. We chopping it up, man. Freestyle conversation. That's what we gonna call it. Freestyle conversation. Cause we know we shoot from the hip, from the cuff. No pun intended. And we just listened to the joint from Busta Rhymes. He got a new joint, man, with Jay Dilla and Lil Wayne. And I'm listening to it. I'm gonna give my opinion about it. And I'm gonna shoot the ball to you. I thought it was pretty cool. It wasn't really nothing I'm gonna just like jump out and bang my head to. I mean, first of all, rest in peace to Jay Dilla. He was one of the illest producers. I see they're trying to channel that energy. But one thing I notice about you is that you really know your music shit. So you niggas getting on here want to talk. She really knows her music. And she picked up on something that I didn't even notice about this. Tell me what you noticed about this song.
Well, I mean, when Wayne first did his part, like, nigga, he done said this shit already. Like, he really didn't do shit. He recycled this whole, like, verse, like, that ass. And then I think somebody made a comment about that he recycled the verse. Soon as he started, it's all recycled. Like, he didn't even, I don't think he changed anything. Honestly, it's all just, and it's so bland. Like, he played it way too safe. Which makes sense because he recycled it, but it's way too safe. He really could have done more. He actually could have gave something to it. This sounds like just some kids on the corner, just out here. Like, this is not the same Wayne that people used to motherfucking battle and be like, yo, let me battle Wayne. You remember them days when people used to be like, yo, I can battle you, bro? And you just try to battle him like one by one, like who can out, freestyle Wayne? Nigga, anybody at this point, hell I can.
Like Lil Wayne, he used to call himself the rapper eater. Remember that?
Yes.
Remember that? He had that crazy bro. One time for me, one time for the DJ. I be Cali, I be Louise. Systematic. Yo, he was going off.
Yeah.
But see now, what it is though, I'm gonna tell you what's happening with these guys now. When they getting older, they either recycling their old shit or they just coasting at this point. Because shout out to Corrupt and Battle Cat. They dropped a dope album from the West Coast called Tales from My Hood. You can check it out now. I can tell even Corrupt that time, he wasn't as ferocious as he was on the mic. Like, he found a laid back pocket. When dudes get older, they get more of a laid back pocket. They rapping the more smoother beats.
Yeah. And I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at them at all because I appreciate them actually bringing their ass outside. Please come outside.
Absolutely. I mean, they found their lane. And sometimes what you do is, when you're older, you found your lane. I think we talked about it on the last show. We was talking about Juicy J put out the jazz album.
Yeah.
These guys are, when you're in your 40s and 50s, you got to somewhat delve into a more mature lane. You got to grow with your audience.
Right. That is.
Because you don't want to be the old head outside. You don't want to be the senior citizen, as they say. But yeah, man, the Lil Wayne, Busta, Jay Dilla cut, I say, for listening purposes, I'll probably just give it a 7. Just off the fact that it's Dilla. You know what I mean? Because that's Jay Dilla, one of the illest to ever do it.
Right, so that means they should have did better.
Exactly. Especially when you niggas is trying to, insult the public and you giving your old shit away. Trying to pass it off as new. You ain't fooling us you ain't fooling us fans though.
Dead ass.
I ain't gonna lie, he almost got me with that one. I was like, hold up, Lil Wayne coming outside with this? Cause to keep it buck, anybody that know me I really wasn't the biggest Weezy stan like that. You know what I mean? I felt some of his catalog was hit and miss, so that kind of went over my head. But people like you that was really into him like that, you picked it up right there.
Yeah, that was my nigga.
Yeah,
I fucked with Wayne, but But that right there, that disappointed me. I don't know. I feel like even Busta played his thing too. Like it felt like, alright, so when the album dropped. And you play that bitch all the way through, right? Mm-hmm. And you got a couple of songs that's just like, It's alright, but it ain't the single.
Right.
This ain't the single. This one of the ones that's like, it's alright. I appreciate my boy outside though. Like I appreciate everybody coming outside. I don't know if this was a tester, but this should have been like song number 7 on the album out of like 10. Like they need to go closer to the bottom where you just like, oh, okay, yeah, this ain't the single.
Yeah, they threw us an album cut. They threw us an album cut. You know what I mean? That's what they did.
Like, can we go? But I appreciate them coming outside. I'm loving the vibes. I love how we really just took this shit back to like the 80s, the 90s. You know what I'm saying? I love how we took this shit all the way back. Absolutely. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love the vibes of how we took it back. I love the smoothness and everything like that. But I also feel like our generation, while we out here making this music, I understand we making it smooth. I understand you was talking about people being in their lane. I understand and I respect that 100%. But at the same time, we got trash outside, okay?
Oh, yeah.
We got trash outside, okay? So we actually need our generation to kind of step it up just a tad bit, okay? And bring some, real lyrics outside, okay? Bring something outside that we can remember so we could actually be like, wait a minute, these rappers outside really ain't doing shit.
I think you know what we need? We need what I would consider an industry shakeup.
Let's do it.
Like, let me give you a good example of an industry shakeup is when DMX came outside the first time ever. What was niggas doing before he was on? They was on boats. They were dancing in shiny suits. They were rapping over pop beats. DMX came outside, gritty, barking, dog collar chain, Rottweilers. Changed the whole aesthetic of the culture.
Yes.
Dudes was wearing shiny suits and they put on Tim boots and jeans and ride and do dirt bikes. In 1 year.
Yeah.
We seen it happen. We seen it in our backyard. We seen this movement take place. That puffy shit was done.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Then who else came outside? You had Big Pun represented for the Puerto Ricans. Then you had Cameron coming in with the Dipset. Then you had Nori coming in with CNN.
Noriega.
Yes, shout out to Nori and the Drink Champs crew. They like fam. But it's like DMX changed that whole aesthetic, and that's what the game needs right now. One rapper to come out here and just say, man, you know what? I ain't trying to be you niggas friends. I'm here to just change the landscape. And we ain't talk about doing it in a weird way like Kanye, because Kanye been putting out buns. We talk about somebody that's going to put out a hard hip-hop record that's going to resonate to us and other generations to come.
No, that ass. And I'm gonna say this. It's one thing I realized that literally came to my head when I was listening to Wayne. And I was just like, alright, because I was saying, listen, I heard this shit before. That was my first reaction. But then as I listened, I stopped and I say, wait a minute, does this nigga always rap about pussy? Like, he had nothing else to talk about besides no goddamn pussy? Like, come on now, that's what we got going on right now. We got these young folks out here just rapping about, pussy and my pussy and everybody's dick and everybody's sucking dick or whatever they doing out here in these streets. Like, is that all we have to talk about, my people?
Good question.
Like, come on, y'all. Like, where's the creativity? Like, they already think, the other cultures already think we a fetish, so we just gonna go ahead and promote the fact that we a fucking fetish?
And what gets me is this. I came up around a time where hip-hop or the music was the culture of what was going on currently with the world.
Right.
Like, all the niggas I grew up listening to, they were speaking to me. Like the Ice Cubes and all them, Ice Cubes, NWA. They were speaking to me, and they was the voice of what was going on with Black America.
Because today was a good day.
Exactly. Two of America's Most Wanted. I mean, come on now. That shit used to resonate to me growing up. So, Public Enemy, you know what I mean? Fight the Power.
Yes. Right?
And you would think right now, with all this shit going on in the world, where is this generation's Public Enemy? Where is this generation's NWA? Where is this generation's Fight the Power, at least? We need something of that caliber, because the way this administration is moving, you would think we would get every artist on that type of time.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. These kids ain't gonna be on that. You know why they not gonna be on this type of time? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna have this conversation. We about to have a real ass conversation, all right?
Yeah.
You know why they not on this type of time? And I'm gonna tell you why. The music sucks, and our sports suck. You know why? Because them kids got mamas and daddies at home. These is fake thugs. These ain't no real ass niggas outside. These niggas ain't got no goddamn hardships. Okay? These niggas ain't worried about them eggs that's out here costing $10. These motherfuckers are not out here worrying about all these goddamn recalls on this motherfucking food and shit. Okay? They don't care about none of that. They still got mamas and daddies at home.
So what it
That's
is?
the problem.
So what it is? You
this
got
new generation are raised, and it's great. It's great. Let me not. I ain't trying to shit on nobody. Okay, it's great that we have all of these black 2-parent households. But
Absolutely.
Look, that's the reason why our music sucks. It's the reason why the sports suck, because everything is full of fucking entitlement. Okay, these kids can come out, make a record, it becomes a hit, they make one song, make $1 million, it streams on social media, and then they can go run off, spend their little money, do whatever they want to do, still stay the fuck at their mama house, and call it a day, and they can be out here flexing like, oh yeah, I'm hard, yo, I go on this gang, I'm this. These motherfuckers ain't had to pay no motherfucking dues to join no motherfucking gang. They ain't had to really actually do no shit. Nothing at all. They just out here claiming shit and just talking and yapping and shit. Okay? So these ain't no real motherfucking thugs out here. They ain't got no real hardships. Okay? They don't have shit to lose. Because if this shit don't work out for them, they have a backup plan. You know what their backup plan is? That same mama and daddy that's out here talking about, oh, well, my parents kicked me out at 18, and I'm not going to do that to my children. Oh, no, my kids don't have to go through what I had to go through. Come on, give me a damn break. Y'all raise them damn entitled-ass motherfucking kids. Let's just keep it a goddamn buck. That's why we got these damn teen takeovers. So these motherfucking is some badass kids that them damn millennials is not paying attention to. That's why our music sucks. These kids ain't got nothing to talk about. They ain't got no goddamn hardships. Okay? They ain't got no big mama out here that's sick with the gout. Okay? Big mama don't got gout no more. Big mama, she don't have heart problems and heart disease and diabetes. Why? Because she gets some heels down there at the strip club.
Big mama's on the gram.
Okay?
Big mama's on OnlyFans.
Literally. You got all these kids who are joining the leagues and doing all this stuff, and they just, you know, they coming from private school. Like, we got rappers and stuff like private school babies. They ain't got no real hardship. These kids got daddies. Okay? Back in the day, some real ass players and the real ass rappers, they didn't have daddies at home. Or their daddy was on drugs. I mean, I ain't trying to put nobody in categories, but I'm just keeping the buck. Like, it was hard back in the day. Okay? It was really, really hard back in the day. Listen to Cardi B. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Listen to Cardi B. That girl had a mama and a daddy. What the fuck she be rapping about? Money and bitches and her pussy. She ain't got nothing else to talk about. And I love Cardi. But she ain't got no shit else to talk about. Literally nothing else to talk about. Why? Because she got a mom and daddy home.
Raise a lot of interesting points. Because raise a lot of interesting points. Now people go in there and say, well, you can't say that. Man, we say it right here. Damn it. Because we see the results of it right now. Because the suburbia mindset inflated a lot of people. You start thinking alike. These suburban kids. What's up with these rappers over here talking about they want to be school shooters? Like, we never thought about no shit like that. We never had. Only one that just talk about some school shooting was Eminem crazy ass. But other than that, we ain't seen black people talking on that type of time.
No, not at all. Not at all. And it's crazy because we're seeing all of this play out in real time. We're seeing, millennials did a great job, and I say millennial parents because them the parents of these damn kids out here. Let's keep it a bug. It's millennials. Realistically, we're seeing all this play out in real time because if we pay attention to the news, we're seeing more and more of our black children who are in white spaces who are getting their lives taken from them. One by one, seem like every week there's a new person, a new child, somebody under the age of 25 that's getting their life taken because of the color of their skin. We're seeing this in real time, right? And so that's telling us something because they keep being in these white spaces. That it should be telling us something. That's a signal to something. That's a signal to, okay, we're not having the conversations that we need to have. The conversation our parents had with us, we're not having with our kids. But we're thinking, we have our kids in these great neighborhoods. They go to these great schools. They have all these great opportunities. They have this. Yes, these kids are going into these spaces, but they get their lives taken. Y'all are not having the conversation that you need to be having with your children. Okay? That's why we got these little entitlements. You got these little entitled athletes. You got these little entitled rappers and all this kind of stuff. And it's crazy. Prime example. Our new what was it? Our new Black Panther. Our new Black Panther. Have we not seen the girlfriend for our new Black Panther?
Oh boy.
Have we not seen her yet? I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but have we not seen her yet? Because she is not one of us. But this is our Black Panther. He's going to represent the black community with somebody on his arms that don't look like us.
Oh boy.
Right? How about that? How about that? How about that?
Let's get it interesting right there.
Right. We're not having the conversations. We have these people who are supposed to be representing us, but they're not even choosing us.
That's an interesting point. Right there. Like, I have to say this here, because Dame Dash said something yesterday. He said something about, he was talking that black empowerment shit. He was talking about why Denzel, Michael Jordan, Tyler Perry, and The Rock and all them, they're not doing anything. They're pretty much safe. Now I will say this to Dame. Nigga, you got a whole white family. How you gonna sit there and talk black power? You know what I'm saying? Like, that defeats the purpose of the dialogue. Yo,
wait. Dave said, what about my Denzel?
He said that Kevin Hart, The Rock, Denzel Washington, Tyler Perry, and I think it was somebody else. They're not really seen as threats of Hollywood because they don't buck against the establishment pretty much like he would. Like they're seen as safe. But at the same time, dude, number one, we still cutting on you for your teeth falling out. Like I don't know why you still talking.
Lord, you and this man teeth.
But
man teeth.
Michael Jordan, on the top of that, people don't know it, but Michael Jordan opened up like 3 mental health clinics in Charlotte and in Wilmington for free.
Mm-hmm.
So people talk shit about Jordan. At least he's trying to do something, but he can't really talk, man. I'm like, you got a whole white wife.
I mean, it goes completely, like, even beyond that. You look at the work that Tyler Perry has done for the community. You look at Denzel Washington, his black wife, football player's son. He has actor son. Like, he definitely gives back to the community. You don't see Denzel Washington out here with nobody protecting him because we know training day don't kick in, and he don't need no protection or anything to that extent. That man has been married to a black woman for how many years? Over 50 years at this point?
Yep.
Honey, okay, you don't even put Denzel into the character. How many times has Dwayne Johnson showed up and gave back to the community continuously? So at this point, Dame just yapping, okay? Dame is just out here and he's just yapping and he's trying to be relevant at this point, but he getting old. And at some point, we just need you to move silently. We need you to move in a cut. I just need to read about you doing great things in the community, but we don't need you to speak at this point. We need you to be quiet.
You know what we gonna do? We gonna put we gonna put him on the side. You know how you got them winos on the block? They're always just talking. We're going to put him in that category. Because, dude. Hold on, you there?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude. Number one, your artist you putting out ain't even black. You got a whole white girl. Why you ain't reach out nobody in Harlem? Why you ain't putting out nobody in Brooklyn, the 5 boroughs? New York is hot right now. There's plenty of artists that could use a Dame Dash cosign. But you put a white girl on, though. What's that all about? Then, got the white girl, got a white wife. Your kids are mixed. No disrespect. I mean, it's just, we just call it like we see it. That's what we do here. But see, we live in a space where people don't want to call it out because they think they're going to get something out of these niggas. They think they're going to get a follow back. They think they're going to get a cosign. They think they're going to get their shit reposted by them. We don't care about these niggas. If you not speaking truth, why we want to be a part of that?
I don't care what you speak. Sound dumb.
Yeah, if you sound dumb, we gotta call it out. It's no different from a family member. It's no different what you're saying about your family member. He's saying something stupid. You call it out. We don't sit there and be like, hey, he keeping it real. No. We call everybody out. That's just what we do.
Everybody can get the smoke.
Exactly. But see, everybody wants to get on this type of time these days. This is what social media created. They want to be a part of this conversation. So bad. They will co-sign bullshit.
Come on then. Come on. Get into the room. Come listen.
They'll co-sign bullshit. Anything. And if you got the bag, oh yeah, they gonna co-sign you regardless. You gonna get the co-sign regardless if you got the bag. Cause nobody respect nothing but the bag these days.
Lord, I'm so sick of the bag. I'm so sick. Everybody chasing, trying to get the bag. Has anybody got it yet?
Nobody got nothing.
We've been trying to get it for a long time, honey. Okay, has anybody got the bag yet?
Hey, you know what? It's a reflection of the times, yo. It's all an illusion. Everybody lying to you, especially on this space. The majority of these people are lying. All these influencers are lying. So you mean to tell me, think about this, Joyce. Think about this. So you mean to tell me if they do a study of people struggling, right? Majority of people living check to check. But yet we supposed to believe Jamal from the block is balling out?
Well, here's the thing. Let's keep it a buck. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. If I have already, I apologize. One thing that we all know is that black people are the number one consumers.
Absolutely.
Okay? Black people have more money than anybody I know. One thing about it is we going to get some money and we going to spend some money, okay? Because we always going to look good. We gonna smell good. We can be broke as hell, okay? Broke as hell, but we gonna look good and smell good. It's all about the black culture. They talk about us all the time and say, black people always want to look like they got money, and white people have money and don't look like. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole little stigma that goes along with that. But at the same time, we are the trendsetters, right? Like we are the ones that set the tones for every room that we walk into. Okay. Yeah. So let's not sit here and say Jamal or Keith or whoever ain't got no money. They got some money, but they choose to spend it on whatever they choose to spend it on. Because if you stop and use that, like they always push financial literacy for the black community. There's a reason for that. Like I said, because we're the number one consumers. So if black people just stop spending money the way that we normally do, like, that's a protest within itself. Do you know how much we would shut down this whole economy if we did that? So we're not going to sit here and say that Jamal, as you put it, don't got no money. Yeah, that nigga got some money. He got some money, okay? Now, where we get our money and how we get our money and how we spend our money and all this kind of stuff, that ain't none of nobody's business, okay? That's none of nobody's business. But we do got coin. One thing we do have, we be out here broke, but we be broke after after something. That's one thing
Right.
about black folks. We're gonna be broke, but we're gonna be broke after something, and then we gonna re-up. Because one thing about black people, we hustle, we get our money. We are very determined people. Okay, black people gonna hustle. If you go outside and go to almost any location where there's somebody behind a desk, behind a cash register, behind anything, you gonna look around and find a black person somewhere. Okay, you look at the janitorial places and school locations or whatever. You look at cleaning stores. You look at hotels. Baby, black folks are working. Black people outside. Yeah, black people outside getting money. They are working. They are working multiple jobs. All in COVID, you had women out here working. Black women was out here working 2 jobs at the same time. One thing black folks gonna do is we gonna make some money, but we gonna spend some.
Oh yeah.
We gonna definitely spend some. So yeah, Jamal got some money. Don't be sleeping on that man. That man got some money, okay? But he's going to spend it on what he decides to spend it on. If we all collectively made our money and then use that financial literacy for our, if it was just for our lineage, just for our kids, we use that, we would have so much more and be able to get to where we really, truly desire to be. But right now, we tired, and you know what we do make us feel good? We go shopping and we look good and we eat good. God damn it, black folks gonna eat.
Oh yeah. And you know what? This ties into what I was talking about the other day about people. They feel as though they're wanting change, changing as in changing of the guard, changing as the government, changing as the financial ecosystem that's burning people out, like hustle culture, for example. So I'm thinking that it's not going to happen for 2 reasons. Because society done pretty much designed it to where people are burnt. You're either going to comply and hoping that you could be a part of the establishment, or you're just going to tap out. There's 2 sets of people in this world, because you don't really have the freedom fighters like we used to. The people that used to rebel against the machine. The energy got sucked out, or they sold out. You know what I'm saying? Because you had a lot of that in the Gen X. Going back to the hippies, you had going back to the Panthers, going back to all those type of groups that actually will fought for change. But see, you don't see that today because this financial ecosystem and this new culture done burnt a lot of people out. But you can scream all day online though, because they don't take an effort. Just want to put that out there.
Right. And now that makes sense. But see, I think I get it. Hustle culture is a problem, but essentially, it's not the way people actually think. People aren't doing what they want to do, and they aren't making really what they want to make. People want to make more money. The problem is, I feel like a lot of people. Well, let me not say a lot of people. Let me not make a blanket statement. Let me say there are different groups of people. You have groups of people who are making money and they can barely afford to cover their bills and they're struggling. You have another group of people who can afford to pay their bills, but they can't afford any luxuries outside of that. And so that's a heartache within itself. And then you have a group of people who can afford to pay their bills, and they can't afford certain luxuries, right? But now they're still screaming because for them it's not enough. Right. They want more. Now you have social media, which is telling those same people, well, you should be traveling, going overseas, and be doing all these different things. And social media is telling these people that a normal life is not normal. It's telling them just, existing, cooking dinner at your house, having leftovers, eating leftovers is not normal. Social media is telling people if you in this type of apartment and it's not furnished this type of way, you don't have this and this and this, or if you don't look like this and have this membership and you don't go to these different places and travel this, then you're not doing enough. When in all reality, it's all a facade. It's not real. It's not real. And social media sells that. And you have people out here selling it. But at the same time, those same people, some of those same people that you see on social media, you notice they only show one room. They do all their videos in one room. You don't see the rest of the house. Now, some of those consumerism videos, yeah, you see a whole lot of their house. But that's because they have those endorsements, right? They're not paying for all that stuff. They really not. Or if they are buying it, I guarantee you they send it back, especially that Amazon stuff.
Yeah.
There are people ordering that stuff on Amazon. They doing the unboxing, making $1,000 off of you in 1 hour, and they sending that shit right on back to Amazon. Because Amazon will goddamn take it. And they gonna keep doing it until Amazon pays them for it. And then they might keep it. Or they start a store with all the leftover stuff and they sell it to you. This is all again. These are just commercials. Okay? That's all it is. We're living, social media is literally just commercials at this point. It's just turning on what? QVC. Swiping on social media is basically QVC at this point. People are just selling you stuff constantly, and they're telling you that what you're doing and what you have is not enough, when in reality it is. What you have is enough. You don't need no more than that. Enjoy your life, okay? Get yourself some friends. Surround yourself with people that you love and that care about you. And allow that to be enough, because that's what life is actually about. It's not about how much stuff you have, and that's something that black culture has always had, but the white culture has always struggled with. We've always had cookouts, we've always had barbecues, we've always had family reunions, we've always been able to get together and love on each other, and that's what got us through our hard times. But right now, it's even harder. Why? Because we do not have those type of tribes anymore. We don't have community anymore. And that's what we're struggling with. That's what people are actually really unhappy with. People been broke. Black people been broke. White people been broke. We have always struggled, okay? People are always struggling all the time, right? But essentially now we're struggling alone though.
There you go.
And that's what hurts even more.
Because think about this. Even when we were broke back then, what were we used to all to do? We used to all scramble, order a pizza, watch a movie at the crib, or better yet, play a video game, or better yet, we all rack up quarters, go to the arcade, spend a whole day there.
Okay, you talk about younger years, nigga. We used to have a kickback. We used to have somebody would bring some liquor over to the house. Everybody would bring their own bottle. Right? A liquor, we'll have some liquor out, everybody chip in a couple of dollars, either we gonna order some pizza. Yeah. Okay? And the pizza gonna get delivered. We gonna turn some music on. We got food. We got liquor. We got music. We got a party. We call people over. Everybody brings something. That's black culture. Okay?
Exactly.
And we turned up in a white neighborhood and we dead ass to say something.
Exactly. And see, just like you said, everybody is going through this by themselves. Everybody's sucked in a digital device like zombies. You know what I mean? Yes. So that's what creates what they consider what's going on to both the male and female loneliness epidemic. When in reality, it only could make it's based off what you make it.
Yes.
You got to go out there, make conversation with sometimes the old people, sometimes the people at the grocery store. But you see what they want to do. A separate society is easy to conquer. All this stuff was done by design. That's what happened since 2020. When you notice when you look at a lot of videos, they have people talk about it's been a shift since 2020. I did one the other day. Mm-hmm. And that's because they're trying to create a separatism, egocentric, narcissistic society where you only care about you, yourself, and I. And when you have a selfish society, it's easy to be conquered. That's why you don't have a lot of unity. Because let's say this, all these fronts that's been happening for the past couple years, when you have a village could overcome a city.
Right.
But now we live in separatism. You got one person here with his own mind. You got his own person with his own mind, and it's wrong. and so now that defeats the purpose. So what happens? They create more avenues where they could take over different territories. That's why now you create an atmosphere in Raleigh. I'm gonna tell you this. This is crazy. I literally had the whole city of Raleigh on my head. When I made a Facebook post about the teen takeover. I had all these white people mad. Because they think I was blaming the city of Raleigh for what's going on with the teen takeover. And first of all, I'm like, I knew that. I smelt the racism. I smelt the MAGA stench from a mile away. So I knew they just wanted a type of time to go at me. But basically, what I was saying, the city of Raleigh is dropping the ball because you're tearing down all of these special things that made Raleigh what it is, and you're building apartment buildings, you're building complexes, and all that stuff for people that can't afford it. Like I read today that a Venture Landing on Capitol is closing up.
Wow.
And that been up there forever.
I think I still got coins.
That been up there forever. So again, there's nothing really for teenagers. I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about teenagers.
Okay, so, and this is me coming from a mother, so I'm going to shed some light into something because I don't think people actually realize this.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is something that I learned this past week. Both of my children, well, my youngest son, he plays football. Both of my children play sports, but my youngest son, he plays football right now. And, woo, go Guardians. But the JV team only has 5 games this year. Varsity team, I think they have 11 or 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because a lot of the schools within the Wake County area, and I've heard maybe the coach said there are other states and cities that are doing similar things. So apparently, parents and students are not enrolling in the football program so they can have JV teams. They don't have enough kids that can actually play for a JV team, and so they say, and they're saying economically it's not even feasible to have a JV team, and so they're only doing varsity. That's doing one of two things. Now, for the kids who are playing football, right, you have to come in and you got to be good to be able to make it to the varsity team. So you're already, if you're entry level, you know, there's no growth there for you. Right. At this particular point, there is no growth, and you're also seemingly you're setting your kids up for failure because you're gonna have 9th and 10th graders going against seniors playing on varsity teams. That is a significant difference when it comes down to size and skill and capability. A 9th grader versus a senior, that is absolutely bonkers to me. And so it's really, question is just, okay, so if we say, like you just said, there's no programs for the youth, for the teenagers, okay? Well, teenagers used to have extracurricular activities that were available through the schools, because and that's what it's always been. They didn't have a lot of programs and different things for teens because back in the day, teens had their own extracurriculars, meaning they played sports. And that was for the young men and as well as the young ladies. They were in other extracurriculars like cheerleading, dance team, gymnastics team. You had tennis, you had volleyball, whatever it is that you had going. And of course, you still have basketball for both young men as well as young women. And then you had teens who had jobs, right? And so you had, when you got into high school, you were able to get a job, you can work and you can make your own money. And so we're finding we go into stores. Older people are the ones that are working. You rarely see any young people actually in the stores or in locations actually working anymore. We're already finding out that a lot of the schools are not doing JV football, so those kids are not actually playing sports and doing extracurricular activities as much. And so my question is, where are the kids and what are they doing? And that really makes sense why we are at this team takeover conversation, because they're not doing anything, but they're not even enrolling in sports. And I'm actually gonna say this too. When we were in the middle of COVID or coming out of COVID, and they started opening up the recs, the parks and recs, they started doing park and rec sports and youth sports and different things like that. And I'm sure, like, I knew you then, and you and I had a conversation a few years back, and for 2 years straight, I enrolled my children in football and in basketball. And each time, both programs got canceled because they didn't have enough enrollment. You remember that?
Yeah. We definitely.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember we literally showed up to the field because we had the schedule. And the coach was just like, I am just sending out an email to let you know that the program is canceled because my 2 children were the only ones that were actually enrolled in the program. And they were going to have to refund me my money. And they were like, we're going to work on your refund. We're going to do this and this. And I remember just standing there. I was like, sir, I don't really care about my refund. I wanted my babies to play sports. They wanted to play sports. Now,
Right.
What are they going to do? And then it's like, of course, they say, well, black kids shouldn't be out here performing. White people want them to perform. White people want them to play sports. White people want them to do this and this, that, and the third. I understand that, but that's where I do understand that. I successfully am not saying every black child should play a sport or something that, yes, they can do other activities, which is music, arts, theater, gymnastics, any other recreation. They can play golf, whatever it is. But they should do something, though. Okay? I'm not saying that they have to do a sport, but they actually need to do something because black children are always smarter. We are always stronger. We are always faster. But if we do not consistently work at it and keep it up, we are going to be we think we falling behind financially. Have we not seen these little white boys out here in the gym killing it and boxing? Like, they're passing this up. We're losing our recipes. The reason why a lot of this stuff is getting even stronger with this racism, because they aren't afraid of us anymore. We are not the biggest, strongest, or fastest anymore. Our children are not as skilled. They're not as in shape as they were. They're not playing outside. Right. They're not running, jumping, and doing all the things. We got the video games, so we have them in the house because we're scared that if they go outside, something is going to happen to them.
Right.
But they have no life skills. So now they don't even know how to move in the real world. It's just like it's a catch-22.
It's a catch-22.
And so somebody else told me today it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because on one side, you see the world is different from how we came up, and right. you got to do what you got to do to protect your little ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because they really acting a fool out here. It's a lot of bullshit going on. And then you're trying to protect them from that. Mm-hmm. But also, they're kind of like not having an understanding on how to maneuver in the real world. They don't have those experiences to where they can see if they getting taken advantage of, they getting swindled, or have an understanding on how to maneuver in the world, because the world is a game. And if you're sheltered in it, you're gonna lose every single time. You're gonna learn the hard way.
Yep. They don't have no grit. They don't have no real purpose. Like, they don't really have too much of a motivation or anything. You talk to these kids and they'll be like, I ain't scared of dying. I ain't worried about going to college. And they it's just like everything to them is just like a big waste of time. Like,
it's kind of like how that's what the market designed to do. That's what's the government designed to make you feel like there is no hope. There is nothing. There's no purpose. That's why they figure, hey, death is the best benefit. Because you see a lot of these people, even on TikTok and Instagram, they looking at the world from their view, not knowing that the world is huge. They look at it from their worldview. I'm ugly. I'm fat. There's no purpose of life anymore. It's just work, pay bills, and die. And then you're not expressing that to people in your circle, because back in the day we had circles, we had a community somewhat. You telling strangers on the internet now that's your circle now. So it ricochets now to where people just feel hopeless. And and see, this is what society is doing now. We talked about this. This was the overall plan of 2024, is reconstructing the government. That's really what it is. It's reconstructing the government to where only the white and the rich can benefit. And they wanted to do it. They always had a plan to do it. but they needed somebody to sell it, and that's what he is doing. He's selling it. He can sell it to you to where he'll tell you on one side, we all doing great. America's great. We're doing fantastic numbers. We're in a red hot economy.
Right.
But look at it like this. And I told you this before. He's not talking to us.
He's not.
When politicians get on that podium, they're not speaking to us. They're speaking to the markets.
Yes.
Because think about this. To keep the market steady, you gotta tell it that the shit is doing good. You're not gonna you go out there and you tell everything about the market's doing bad. The markets are gonna go bad. Everything is gonna go bad. So he gotta sell it. And luckily he has enough white people to drink the Kool-Aid, because they still the majority.
Yep.
Like for
and actually piggyback off what you said. I heard a young lady, and I was watching this lady. She works for like these millionaires and different things like that. And she does like little contract work with them and whatever she does. And she was mentioning, she said, "Hey, I need everybody to know, if you have kids, that millionaires are not sending their kids to college, right?" And she was just giving a reason why. She said because these millionaires have businesses and colleges not teaching their children the foundations that they need to be able to take over those businesses and different things. They're not getting the humanities that they need. The colleges aren't giving, students humanities. They're not offering it anymore. And they're saying their children need that in order to be able to take over their businesses and allow their legacy to keep going. And so she was saying that colleges are not teaching their children something outside of what they can teach their children, so they're not wasting their money on college. They're just teaching them themselves so that the kids could just take over the businesses. Well, it was a young man. He was a black man. He was on a commentary over it, and he was just like, "Oh, I don't believe that. I don't believe that's true or anything like that." And I listened to what he said, and he just kept saying, "No, I think they're sending their kids to college. I think they're doing this. I don't believe, they're not worried about their kids taking over their businesses. They already have that already in line and all this kind of stuff." And the more and more I heard this black man talking, I was just like, yo, he's not talking to us. She's not talking to us, sir. Like, I did leave a comment. That's why I said, sir, this is not for us, okay? Black kids still got to go to college. Unfortunately, we still have to go to college. Those millionaires, I believe them. I believe that those millionaires are not sending their kids to college because they're saying it's a waste of time, which it is. They're wasting money because now everything is all IT, AI, all this different stuff like that. And you do not need a degree for AI. You do not need a degree to do those technical. All you need is certifications. So they are not wasting their money. That makes perfect sense. Why would you waste $400,000 for an Ivy League school for them to learn something that only requires a couple of thousand to get a certification in, and the certification only takes them less than a year to be able to utilize it, okay? Google is out here giving out certifications to learn AI, and these people are coming out making at least $150,000 after getting a Google certificate that takes 9 months to do, and they're able to work for Google and make $150,000. Absolutely. Why would you go to college and spend, all of that money, spend 6 figures in order to do something that requires 9 months of work, and you can do online from your house? That makes no sense. So I understand what she was saying, that they're not sending their kids to college because they're not learning the things that they need for them to learn. It makes sense, but our black kids still gotta go. That is not for us. Sometimes we are in circles and we are commenting on things that have nothing to do with us. Those white people are not talking to us. We're in the room, but we need to just be silent sometimes because it's not for us. Some of that stuff does not apply to our lifestyles and to our children. Our children still have to go to college because if not, they're not going to be seen for, oh, are you, that was a little certificate? Yeah, you're not good enough. A white kid get a certificate? Oh yeah, that's great. You got all the skills you need. A black kid, No. We need you to have 4 to 6 years of education. We need you to have this and this. You have to have more. You're going to be required more. And even especially during this administration, you are absolutely going to be required more of. You're going to have everything. Okay, plus some more. And be the hardest working to make half as much as the child that has a millionaire parent and went to school for 9 months online, and they making $150, you still only making $75,000, and you are literally having to pay off student loan debt while they had none. Okay, you are at a disadvantage. We have to start teaching our children and let them know that they are at a disadvantage. When they step outside, they are judged. They are not paid the same. They do not get the same opportunities. And we have to start telling the truth about that. And we have to start instilling our kids, okay, there are other windows that we can go into. Let's expand their degree plans, because there are certain places and certain different like schools and degrees that our children are not partaking in. And they need to go ahead and let these white people see them there, so these white folks can get comfortable with niggas in they real spaces, okay? We need to start really taking up space instead of cowering out and saying, oh, we're going to take the safe route. We need to not take the safe route. Do something different. I ain't never seen a black art curator yet. I haven't seen one yet. Okay, my youngest son wants to go to school to be an oceanographer. I ain't never met an oceanographer, but god damn it, he want to be an oceanographer. That little nigga gonna be an oceanographer. You better go ahead on with it. I didn't even know that was a real job. Okay, black folks don't know that. We don't know about the ocean. We don't fuck with the ocean, and we don't fuck with the goddamn space. But guess what? We need more black people in both spaces. We need more colored people, melanated people in these spaces. So when they go into these rooms and they say, "Oh, they're not going to cause it. Oh, we don't need." No, our babies need to go, but we just need to go in other ways. We can do more things than just be a doctor and a lawyer. There's so many more opportunities out there. There's so much more money out there that we can get. So many more resources. There's just so much out there that we really just need to be able to extend. And I know it's hard for us to be able to get that type of exposure. But this is where you always say that our communities and our leaders and our music artists and those people whom are the wealthiest in the black community, they need to step up and help the community. This is the space they need to do it. We need more programs to get our kids to college and more scholarships to get our kids to college. There are scholarships available for our kids, but we don't always know about them. And we need some specialties that can help get our kids into those areas that are little known, but there's a lot of money surfacing there. That is something that our leaders can actually do for our next generation. We need programs for them. We sit here saying our teens are bored. Their teens don't have, no focus. They ain't got no dreams. They don't have no goals. We always sit here and talk about what they don't have, but we're not guiding them. And that is what we need to be out here doing.
Amen to that. Preach the gospel, man, because I'm always been solution-based.
Right.
You got to be solution-based. It's like everybody can talk about the problem. We can rap about the problem. We can sing about the problem. We can debate about the problem. Mm-hmm. The solution is the cure. Mm-hmm. Let me give you a good analogy. When you're sick, it's easy to diagnose your sickness, right?
Right.
When does the work really come in? It's healing. Mm-hmm. It's finding a cure. Mm-hmm. And what does the cure takes? It takes a lot of sacrifice, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of pain. A lot of people just figure, you know what? I'd rather just be sick. But it all takes sacrifice at the end of the day. And you talked about this before. You said that a lot of millennials, we done got selfish within our own way instead of keeping those traditions up. Because it's on us to uphold a lot of the things that we lost. We make more money than the previous generation. Mm-hmm. We brag about it all the time. So, if anything, the millennials, like you said, they should be holding the standards to the next level. Carry on tradition. But somewhere down the line, we stopped. Why did we stop? A lot of things have changed to where people haven't stopped. Like, for example, tragedies has happened since then. I mean, we always had tragedies, but we never had life-changing tragedies that affects the economic landscape. We had tragedies that affect the black landscape, but when the white man's dollars affected, we all affected. We talk about housing crisis that happened in 2008. We talk about 9/11. Talk about COVID. All this shit, right? And then if the white man trying to function and trying to make his dollar circulate, you know it's gonna take a little bit longer for us. Cause now we're looking at it as we trying to keep our heads above water. It's about me. But that's not how our community has always been shaped as. It's always been you. We all come together, we make magic. That's how all the infrastructures that we created have always been standard. You know what I mean? Black Wall Street. That wasn't built by one man. It took a whole group. It took a whole group of community and village to build that. But we developed the I mentality. And now think about it. Now they're conquering everything, just like I said earlier. Now you ain't got shit but apartment buildings and everything overpriced and bad food. And you know, we gotta shoot on this here, man. Like, what is your thoughts about this food crisis? Like, you can't even eat good food anymore. The water's damn near. Recall for this, recall for dog food, recall for bacon. We already cut the swine, going back to Malcolm X movie. Mm-hmm. Now you cutting the meat? Pause. What the hell?
Yeah, it's definitely one thing after another, and you know what? I ain't even mad at them. You know why? 'Cause them, you know what's voted for this shit. They voted for this mess. They voted for this food, and all kinds of chaos is breaking loose, and that's what the hell they get. That's what the fuck they get. Now, let me tell you something. I heard that it was a recall garlic salt or whatever it was. They had a recall of garlic salt.
Fuck out
okay, black folks ain't worried about that. Cause one thing, our seasoning, we didn't have that garlic salt in our pantry probably about 6 months. It done got hard, and all we do was hit it against the counter to break that shit up and put it right there in that food. Seasonings do not expire in black households. We do not throw away seasonings. So we are not worried about this garlic salt or anything like that. But these recalls they have on like the lettuce, so people's crying and going all off about they can't have salads and whatnot. See, just at this point, black people, one thing black people know how to do is make a meal. We know how to make something out of nothing. Soul food was soul food for a reason, because it was a food that was available to us, and we knew how to season up that food real good so it can satisfy our souls. And we knew how to form community and enjoy that food for the soul together.
Right.
So, at this point, I encourage all black people to not worry too much about the food recalls. Lean into that soul food. Lean into that Big Mama house. Okay. If it's not doing anything at this point, but getting us out these grocery stores, it's what it's teaching black people is to go back to what we know. Go back to the markets. Go on back to the farmers markets. There's a place in Raleigh. It's called it's a Raleigh food market, and I'm just speaking just here. In this area, but there's some scattered everywhere, and it's a pay what you can. They do it every Wednesday from 4 to 7. It's pay what you can. So if there's anybody in Raleigh that needs some farm fresh food, you go there and you just pay what you can, and you move the hell on. If this recall don't do anything, it's gonna teach people to go back to real food. That's what it's doing. I mean, we got to look at the bright side. Now we're actually gonna get real quality food. We complaining about all these recalls, but if you stop and think about it, most of the recalls are on food that's like either processed or been touched